Hello, everyone. It's a side of shade, and we're coming in really somber and a little sad because it's bittersweet that this is our final show. Tear. Not to mention, there's already been a couple of drinks, so it's kind of kicking in. But I'm really feeling a way about it. It didn't hit me till we sat
right now, yeah.
Like, oh yay, this is what we do on Wednesday, every other Wednesday. So yeah, this is our final show.
It's our final show.
How do you really feel that way? Because I know how you are. Sometimes you can take it or leave it.
No, I am sad.
Are you? Yeah. Oh my goodness, you have emotion? What is this salty discharge I see? What is it?
Is that a tear?
I don't believe it.
What's this moisture burning my eye?
Right. Are you have some emotion and attachment to this?
I am sad.
Are you?
This was fun.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
No, we had a good time.
No, it's totally bittersweet.
And then as I sit back and think things over.
Oh goodness. Okay. Come on, song.
No, but seriously, there's been a lot of growth at this table.
It
Even from before it was the table, when it was just, when we were doing the podcast and just thinking about the overall transformation. It's been a lot.
I don't even think we look the same.
We don't.
Cause I think about even when I go back to some of the pictures, I'm like,
interesting
hair,
I haven't looked at any of the pictures.
Yeah, when I look at the pictures, I'm like, we've all come
a
long way.
Yeah. I mean, you almost got option C.
Yeah, you did.
And now
I was almost kicked out the first 5 minutes of the. You're right.
Yeah.
And now
you
look at you.
never really knew quite what was going on.
Right, you did. You did.
Because that's
really
didn't know.
Personality.
She's that type of person that just kind of come in and like, oh, this is what you're doing. Okay, fine. But we were like, did you listen to there was 5 things that we said, and you just wasn't.
You were like, what?
So you didn't know what was going on.
Oh, okay. And then she'd be in the meeting.
Right.
Doing research. Doing research about. Because remember last time we had talked about, and we had said.
I was prepared. It just, y'all weren't clear. Mm-hmm. And I just didn't know what we were doing.
Also, your attention is.
You're right.
No, but sometimes it was the attention.
Yeah.
We had said things that you just didn't catch
Because, in my defense, though, we often go off topic.
True.
So we'll start with one thing, and I'm focused. Like, all right, what are we doing? And then when the side conversation start, I'm like.
But I feel like the side conversations are you. And most of the times you're.
No, it's not. Because most of the times y'all like, so what did you think about that? I'm like, right.
Yeah, well, that's what people say. True. That's what some viewers have said that's how you come in. Victoria gives her long situation is this and
that's a long situation.
You kind of explain through this and we that's right, you right, and then you come in, nah, you nah to what? Just to everything.
That's what Dave told me too. He was
he said you just say no. Nah. Your whole show. He said you could do a separate show that's all you say is nah. Somebody can give your whole thing and it's just nah.
Nah. See.
No, but I think it's definitely bittersweet. I think because what we had talked about was just what the show meant to us. Friends getting together, chit chatting, having a good time, and then we brought in viewership, and it just became a little bigger than what we thought. But then we were trying to figure out what's the next step here, because I think that most people, what I see when people do podcasts and radio shows, it's do you use this platform to do what? What's your next thing? Where do you want to go? And I feel like if you can't give it 100%, then what does that really mean? And that's in anything.
Yeah.
If you can't give it your all, and if it could be other things that you've been called to do. Some things are just for a season.
Right.
So I think that's what we kind of, and you're right, the growth that has happened in the living room / basements, bedrooms that we were in, the kitchen tables, and then
to an actual studio
with a producer and a whole crew. We've come a long way, and we didn't know we could do it because we didn't set out.
We were learning as we went along.
Thanks, Diamond.
Yeah, thank you, Diamond.
Oh, Diamond.
We just didn't know we had it, and we just was
And thank you for this on the screen. Who are these people?
Oh my God.
Yeah. I thought those was mans with Jesse.
I don't know. Just let them
No,
back.
it's not.
This is not the Nigerian
No.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Oh my God.
Football players.
Oh, okay.
But
I don't.
life was also happening.
In the midst of all that.
Yes.
Right. A lot of life changes.
Which sort of feeds into what we were, how we want to talk today about.
Because that was when we were trying to figure out, well, first of all, let's even talk about how we even plan for the show. Because it started out as a process. Like, remember, we would meet, let's get together, let's talk about planning out.
Yeah, come with a list.
A list of things. And then we started it. I just felt like it just became a little more organic.
Absolutely.
There was just kind of like coming, not to say we weren't prepared, we knew what we want to talk about, but it was just more like, let's just have a conversation.
Yeah, here's what I'm thinking about.
You know, but yeah, like a lot of things happened, and we was talking about, and so Victoria comes and says, hey, let's talk about Wendy Williams. And you know, of course, these two are huge fans of Wendy Williams.
I am.
And I don't have any, I like her, but I'm not like a huge fan. I'm not really a huge fan of anybody except Drake. Anyway. And so, but
because we had finally gotten tickets. Finally gotten tickets.
I've been to see her before,
we had not. We were planning our outfit.
We actually got the tickets.
We actually had the ticket
for the tickets. Like,
and then like this shit went down.
Mm-hmm. She became a hot topic.
Yeah,
literally. And so, but like we talked about that, and then me viewing Homecoming with Beyonce, you know, on my spare time. You know, today I was like, you know what, this is really something. Like when I look at the, not necessarily parallel, but just look at women, you know, you out here trying to raise your whole stake in life and live your life and grind it out and do all these great things, be a mother, wife, da-da-da-da-da-da. And meanwhile, you got these things happening.
Yeah.
Sometimes in the background.
Right.
And then it may show up front, but then, or sometimes out in the front.
Right.
And now you face to kind of deal with it.
Right.
And, you know, and so that's kind of what we're saying, even in I guess relevant to us as well, where things were happening kind of like in the background. We come, do what we got to do. You go to work, you know, you don't take off work because, I mean, sometimes you do call in sick because, hey, I ain't feeling it today, but you don't say
that. But for the most part, you show
up.
But
real life
show up
because,
you know, you come to work.
And that's what Wendy was doing.
Exactly. Showing up.
She just kept showing
Still
up.
Talking about other people's business.
Now, you might not be 100% there, but
that's
you're there.
right.
But you there. You showed up.
And then there's usually signs, right? Like we saw some of the signs, and like we could, you know, she could say it was about her health and things like that. But like your health is
weighing on the health too.
That's what I was about to say. That was, you know, affected because of the stress that she was under at home, but she was still showing up.
That's a lot of
energy. And that's actually part of her
on a smile and a good face.
Hell yeah, it is. When you're going through in the background.
That's part of her work ethic.
And somebody taking a long time, like if you give an old person a camera and they like, wait, how do I do? And the whole time you like, take this picture because my cheeks are hurting.
Right.
Like it takes
a lot.
It takes a lot of energy and
when
time.
You're not feeling it.
Yeah.
Right.
You know. But and then so we were thinking about like just thinking about the things that we had going on in the background that may not have showed up here. I mean, we talked about some things, but not really. I don't think we were that like, hey, I'm going to tell everybody all my business that happened to me before I got here today, kind of thing. It wasn't that, but most of the topics that we talked about were relatable in terms of maybe something we experienced or in our lives or whatever, or other people's experiences. And then we talked about things that were like in the news and that sort of thing. But we try to keep it like as transparent as possible when it came to our views of things, right? And so in thinking about Wendy Williams and all the things that she has going on, it was like, to me, I think when I saw everybody, when I just saw a snippet of her saying that she was preparing a life for her and her son, and the crowd was like so elated, like they get excited about anything she said. She could say, you know what, everyone, you know, I'm in the sober house and everybody, you know what, everyone, and everybody, no matter what the crowd,
I like Kale,
but people were elated that she had finally made the decision. And so then I said, well, what about Beyonce? In terms of, here you are, just have a baby, 2 babies, challenging pregnancy, you produce this crazy show that's just like all things, everything, culture, like everything about that. And when even you got to see when they pan into the crowd and you see white people just kind of like, I don't get it. But when she sing all single ladies, they like, But when you got somebody on stage, I don't get what's happening.
But then you see the black people,
but like thinking about every detail, because that's just who she is. But in the background,
that's right,
a whole lot of stuff was going on in her life. And I'm saying every day, this is what people deal with shit all, like, come home to bullshit, but can stand in the boardroom, stand at the nurses, as a nurse, take care of other people, do all these things, and got a crazy ass situation going on in the background.
Yeah, and that's what we were saying too about sort of, when I brought up Wendy Williams, we were both saying how no matter what you might think of her, and the same thing sort of goes for Beyonce.
Yeah.
You
All
have
the
to
people that people be hating
respect,
on.
but you have to respect not just the work ethic, but you have to respect what she's accomplished.
Yes, you got
Right.
to. You don't have to be a fan.
You don't have to be a fan.
Like, there's a lot of people at
That's a
work
true talent.
that I respect the fact that I see them grind it out. That don't mean I like your ass.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But the same thing. People, you a fan of who you're a fan of. You like who you like. But you cannot. Same thing I said about Diddy, DJ Khaled. People be like, oh, they be doing too much. Only people saying somebody doing too much to people, you ain't doing nothing.
Right.
Like, those are people who get upset. I'm not saying that these people may not be annoying or over the top. Yes, that's their personality. But you gotta respect that person's hustle and what they do.
Yeah.
At the very least.
Yeah.
You know, acknowledge that.
Yeah.
You know
because
what
I
mean?
really tried to not like Beyonce years ago.
You tried to not like her?
Yes,
like,
because
I guess because everybody was all
because when they first came out and it was Destiny's Child, it was like, okay, they're a cute girl group, whatever. But you could see where it was going.
Right.
You already knew this is a Supreme situation. She's gonna step out. She's gonna go solo. But because everybody was so in, I was just like, whatever. Like, I didn't want to be a part of the movement. So I was like, I'm not interested. But the moment, I was telling Christian this earlier, I was home cleaning my house and I had put on this, cable channel that was showing concerts, whatever. And her concert was on. It was years ago. And I was cleaning my house. It caught my attention so much that I stopped and started watching. And I literally in that moment was like, okay, I see it.
Right.
I get it now. Like, I get it.
Yeah, because
the performance was so right. She's not the greatest singer,
but when it comes to the talent, like everything else, like when you pay to go to a Beyonce, because
it's an experience.
If you've ever been to a Beyonce concert, and I'm not talking about with her and Jay-Z, because that don't count.
Lord.
It doesn't.
Here we go.
If you've ever been to a Beyonce, concert. It is one of the most amazing experiences in the world. Like, and you don't have to necessarily like her as a, be a true fan. You don't have to be a part of the Beehive to enjoy the fact that, wow, this person put on an amazing show. Yeah. Like, you are on your feet, you are entertained. There are so many things capturing your attention. Like, it's a wonderful experience. And if you have not, you should. Yeah.
Well, I saw it on TV, and like I said, in that moment, I was like, I got it. I got it.
As much as them tickets cost, I was like, she better be flying from the sky. And lo and behold, I was like,
she flying from the sky.
Look,
she flying from the sky.
But I mean, to me, that's when you see the love of something. Like, one, she always said she's a perfectionist. Like, that's just who she a Virgo, I think. So that kind of really makes sense. But like, just her level of work ethic. It comes out, it shines. People recognize that. It ain't no whoever's saying anything about her necessarily bad. It's just what? I mean, you talking about her kid? Like, I mean, what is this about? Like, you cannot disrespect this woman's work. No. Like, you just can't do it.
And so the Hive won't let you. So stop.
Right. Yeah. And so, but in thinking about that, and so basically we were saying that kind of titling of the show, like, when the bullshit leads to freedom, because like a lot of times things start off with a bunch of, like, you finally confront, here's the bullshit. Like, this is enough. Now, you can go one or two ways. You can see the bullshit and say, wow, this is some bullshit. And then you like, and you continue on. Or you see the bullshit, confront the bullshit, and then allow that bullshit to then shift you into freedom.
Yes.
But some people get stuck between the bullshit,
the rock and the bullshit,
and they get right to the edge of the
precipice of freedom.
There you go. Where it's like they forget the two E's and back
go
in the
to dumb.
And so it's like,
that's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate.
It's unfortunate.
And
so you're right there.
You right there, and then you get brought back in.
Yeah.
And so I was wondering, like Wendy was saying, that one of the things she did was being in that sober house, in them 4 walls, lights out,
time with herself,
time to yourself, and you ain't got nothing to keep you high, whatever, distracted, all of those things, kids, all of that. You by yourself, literally by yourself, and then that's when you say, I had time to reflect. And as I reflect, I fired his ass.
That's right. You're cut off. You're done.
Right.
Goodbye.
And so how often do we take that time, though? That's the thing. Everybody don't have and still go to work. Because I best believe if your ass is currently in a sober house meeting at our job, you ain't coming into work. Like, I don't know how that works for everyday people. I know people, because she said most of the people, she said most of the people that in that house are people who are top executive, top guests, who are in this sober house, who have the means to be able to
have a driver,
get you from here, get you back there. No, we don't. No, we going home, and you try to go in your closet, and somebody's saying, "Excuse me, what we eating tonight?" You can't even get to the sober house. So my point, like I'm saying, so how do you do that when you don't have the means to be able to? Because even Beyonce, she took time off.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about even prior to the kids and all that. I'm saying, like, in that, there was some space between Lemonade and all that, where she took time to
I think therein is part of the problem. That I think that we always talk about the village. I don't know that we tap into our resources enough, because it may not be that you can go to a sober house. It may not be that you can take every day off, but are there chunks of time where you can phone a friend and say, hey, can you watch my kids for me for like an hour or two so I can just soak in the bathtub?
That's why it's a village.
That's why
everybody's not that friend.
But you got to know which one. Right. You got to know. You got to know who you can call. Right. Or if you know that you need, like, whatever that little bit of time is, hopefully you have people.
Right. No, you have to roll to play.
But we don't do that.
You're right. We don't tap into that. I mean, like, I don't know how, for me, like, now that I'm in a different stage in terms of, like, I don't have little kids. It's just basically me and my husband. But I still have, like, things still going on, but it's not to the point where I can't take a moment to myself. Right. So I'm just saying, for people who are not necessarily may not be, because even if you're single, that don't always mean you got time and you ain't got to leave and you always got whatever.
Say that word again.
But how do you, because I know you are the queen of, like, self-care Wednesday. How do you even stop to Saturday? Yeah, or everything is a self-care day. In the evening, the drink. Like, it's
I have rituals.
When I call V on a Saturday and she answers the phone, I feel privileged.
You should.
Like,
and don't pop up.
For me?
She ain't going to answer.
It's Saturday. Saturday morning.
How would you suggest people who may not have family, may not have, that are here, like, how can you, like, do a chunk of time where you can just, like, I need a minute?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have kids, so let me preface it with that. I don't have kids, so I'm just speaking from a space of trying to be creative and, like, the things that I would talk to my clients about, because a lot of times I'm literally talking to my clients about self-care. Like, I'm talking to them about managing stress and wellness and things like that, and so some of it is just brainstorming. But, like, for me, I think about even with my work, right? Like, it's very time consuming. And so I could literally be working all the time, right? I mean, not to mention I have 2 jobs. So I could be working, doing something related to it all the time. But part of it is that I really pay attention to, and I was telling a student this the other day. She was going through a lot and made the comment about how another student said, well, this is what we do. You can push through. You push through. And I was like, you're sitting in my office literally going crazy. You can't actually push through. Right. So she has a job, is in school, has children, is dealing with, like, she has all these responsibilities. And I was literally just like, you got to slow down. You got to stop. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, and I know you have bills, and I'm not saying don't go to work and things like that. But again, it's that, can you find an hour to just sit in the bathtub or take a nap? Right. Let's just take a nap. Like, let's just start with what's doable. Yeah. You know, and when she left my office, I said, now go get something to drink. Go get a drink of water. I said, go get some water. Right? Because we go through the day sometimes without even stopping to just have a glass of water. So, like, it's literally those little things. Like, let's just pause and have a glass of water and be still. Not have a glass of water while you're working, while you're typing, while you're doing these things. Can we take 10 minutes to just have a glass of water and breathe? No. Because even in those 10 minutes of breath, you might have an epiphany about something because you actually can hear yourself thinking.
Right.
Well, it doesn't have to be going away for a while. Like even taking that hour lunch break and going outside instead of being in that place. You know, just to kind of get away and clear your head for a minute.
Right.
Or go for a walk.
Yeah.
Is that how you do? Is that what you do in terms of like how do you take a minute? I mean, because you are definitely in a different place. As far as experiences and things that you've been through during the time we've been here. I mean, not to say that you can. I don't never want to compare someone's challenges or issues that they had going in life, but I feel like out of the village, a lot of your experiences we experienced with you, but it was like they were traumatic, like some big stuff. You had major things happen in your life. And so how did you find, or how did you get to this place? Because now when I see you, I mean, you still the same Gemini that I know, born in 88.
Okay, Jim.
But you definitely, as far as growth-wise, like, it shows. And so how did you manage?
And there's a sense of freedom there, like you were talking about.
Right, because I feel like you probably was walking in major BS in some ways.
I was in it, drowned in it.
You were drowning in it. So how did you find the freedom?
I think the first part was just realizing that the word no wasn't me being selfish. Like, and then I had a whole movement where I was like, whatever, I'm selfish, because everybody just considered me so selfish because I wanted to take time to kind of mentally get myself together. Or even when I did therapy, explaining to people like, I'm doing therapy for me. It's not for you. I can't come home and do therapy with you. I can't, help you through your life issues when I'm trying to sort out my own. So I think those things kind of help tremendously of just, and people so take for granted what that word means.
Which one? The selfish?
The word no.
Oh, no.
Like, and it was so hard to like say at one point in time, because how do you tell your mother no? How do you tell your father no? How do you tell your sister no? Like, how do you tell your spouse no? But then at some point it was not until I think my friends like actually confronted me about my situation, or incidents occurred where I had no choice but to face it, that it was like, oh, I really gotta deal with this. Like, because I can put on a smile and activate one Gemini and put the other part of her away and put the show on and be great, but when you have a close-knit friendships and like village and people literally call you out on the bull, like, you're not faking, like, you're not fooling us. We see it. We can tell you miserable. We can see that you're not happy. What are you doing about it? I think it was at that point that I was like, I gotta make some changes.
Right. And I just wonder, like, I think that's one of the things we've always talked about is the village, like how important that is as you dealing with bullshit, trying to get the freedom back out, make it the FRE, gotta get back in. You don't quite get out of it. But then that village is supportive as you go through, because everything is not going to be, yay, I'm awakened. That's it. I'm done with the bullshit. Right. It don't always happen that way. It's just like drug addict, alcoholism, anything else you dealing with. It don't just happen where it's just immediately, that's it. Yay, I'm awake. And now I'm, ready to face the day, because it's day to day when you're dealing with things that traumatize your life anyway, or any, whether it be death or divorce or, any life changes, major life changes. It don't just, that's today. I'm telling you, I feel okay today.
Right.
But tomorrow, I'm not okay.
Right.
And being okay with making the adjustments of being not okay,
And that, again, speaks to the self-care piece of what I was telling my student. Being able to say, I'm not okay.
Right.
I'm not okay.
Right.
And then if you have a village or whomever that is, friends, family, whatever, just starting off by saying, I'm not okay, and then allowing people to come in and provide whatever support.
Yeah. And I think the people you surrounded by play a major part in that, because I think for the longest time I had so much trouble saying that I'm not okay, because people will instantly put you in the category, you're single, you don't have any children, what are you complaining about? You have a good job with the state, you have this, that, and the third, like, and they see things from an outside perspective, and it's like, oh, I'm supposed to be okay. What am I complaining about? Like, my life is perfect, I guess, compared to most. So, I mean, am I not supposed to feel the way I was feeling? Right. But it wasn't until, like, having people call me out on not being okay that I was like, oh, you're right. I think that was the one time I called Krishna and I was like, I don't want to be here. And she was like, well, here.
Right.
You're not going I go all the way there. Whoa,
right. No, in this situation right now, in this moment,
right.
I'm not.
We gotta assess. We gotta do an assessment.
Like, so,
you mean here, or?
I need specifics.
Yeah. She was like, I need to know.
Right.
But no, it was literally in that moment. Like, I don't think it's often that I've ever said that. No, I'm not in a space where I feel good. My sister sent me a message the other day and asked me if I was happy, and I literally responded back to her, no. Like, you know, I'm okay. I'm getting there. Like, I can see happiness. Like, it's at the, I can see it right there. It's in reach. But if I could be honest about my current state and situation, no, it's not ideal. It's not happy. It's not like a place that I feel comfortable in. But I know a lot that I'm doing is working towards that. Yeah. So that's what gives me the comfort.
Right. Yeah. And I think like, and even being I sometimes feel like we don't find the joy or at least the peace being in a holding pattern. Because like sometimes if it's like if we're not moving, if we're not shaking, and we ain't doing this, we ain't got this going on, we get a little concerned that why is there no movement? But the movement is even within the holding pattern. Because sometimes you just have to be still and let things just happen and how they're supposed to happen. And that doesn't mean like now I need to go, let me figure out what I need to do next. Because I think because I used to find comfort in just being busy.
Yes.
And like constantly doing this. And then so that's why I had to reevaluate with being in a holding pattern, trying to figure out why do I feel like just blah? Like nothing's going on, nothing bad, nothing good, nothing really, just I'm just here. You know? And sometimes that's a state. Like that's a place. And like why can't you be okay? But I think that between, as we talked before, social media, society, this world, it makes you just get so overwhelmed with, you see people doing this. So now, what, am I not doing enough? Look at these overachievers. They're doing this and they're doing that. And maybe I should be back to school I go. Or now let me get this new business. And everybody not cut out to do all of these different things. Yeah.
And that's why I was saying that it would be interesting to see what, you're just sort of going back to Wendy Williams, it'd be interesting to see what happens next for her. Because she, I mean, by all intents and purposes, she has everything. She doesn't have to do anything. Right? Like, she's already Hall of Fame status. But from a personal standpoint, right, it'd be interesting to see sort of what changes she might make in her life, because we don't really know how her marriage and that business arrangement was influencing some of the things that who she was as a personality, right? So it'll be interesting to see what a new level of freedom looks like for her, right? Because even though, you know, divorce, you still got to grieve a loss. Like, you're still, even though bad things happened, this was still somebody that she has spent a good chunk of her life with, right? And the father of her child. So there's still going to be grieving. As someone who's gone through a divorce that was amicable, there was still a grieving process. But in going through that, you often become a different person. Right? And so I'm curious to see if and how, like, what changes. Because we saw it with Beyonce. Right? She left Destiny's Child. She left her dad. And all of a sudden, there was this new, like, we saw the talent was there before. But then it took on a whole new
and she felt like angle. She wasn't free even within that. So letting go of some of the relationships. I mean, from what I understand, like I said, I'm not a part of the Beehive. I don't claim to be, but I think there was some significant changes, whether it be management, what she wanted to do, like where her trajectory was.
Her creativity like exploded,
and these particular people weren't going to be able to take her there.
Right.
And so even that. Like, there's been times I think we can all say in our lives where there's a certain people won't be able to get you to the next level, and whatever that is, and that doesn't mean, hey, I hate you, hey, I don't mess with her like that or him like that or whatever. It's not necessarily that.
They're not meant.
Not for this particular journey. And that doesn't then mean that you still don't talk to those people, whatever. But I think sometimes we get we get so attached to saying, this is my friend, that's my friend, this is my relationship, because they mean so much. But there's nothing wrong with that to a certain extent, because when it's time, sometimes we can't discern when it's time to let go, because we're so connected to the friendship, to this, to that, and like how are you able to discern when it's time?
That's a good point.
Because everybody get caught up in the loyalty. I think
no doubt.
Even that with the transformations that, you know, like you said, it was many that happened over the course of the last 2 years, and letting go of a friendship that I thought was, you know, someplace that I need to be loyal to this person. I need to make sure that this person is good and okay. But letting that relationship go benefited me more than anything, because it was this next stage of life she can't come with me. Like, I don't think she's prepared for it mentally. Like, the situation, her life was just completely different, and if I was to stay caught up in that, then it wouldn't have allowed me to progress in other ways. So I think it's like that hood mentality of like, you just want to take everybody with you, but everybody's not meant to come. Like, and that's the hardest part to figure out. At what point do you say, who am I supposed to really be loyal to? Am I being loyal to this person or to myself in this process?
I think it's more so, I think personally it might be more loyal to the journey. So if you're loyal to the journey, that means that anything that is not really a part of it, that doesn't necessarily mean discard, because I think that sometimes it's like, you know, you just got to be able to be clear, and that's communication. Like, it's not necessarily that I'm no longer committed to, because, you know, selfish can be, I mean, some people can just be flat out selfish, no doubt. But like I had sent you that thing from Iyanla when she was saying you can't really give out what you don't have.
Right.
And so if you're not supposed to be giving out something when you're on a particular journey, and you're giving out to people who are not a part of it, isn't that going to be taxing to that journey itself and how you get there if you're not full yourself? So I'm just saying, how...
Because energy is real.
No doubt. Like,
it's
that
not
means
just something
something
cute that we put on a meme. Like, when people suck you dry of your energy, it makes a difference in who you are. I can love you to your last breath and beyond, but it doesn't necessarily have to be with you being my right hand. I can love you from a distance. The love can be different. Like, I can still respect you and not still have that same relationship with you. And I think that's what so many people fail to realize, like, especially with friendships. I feel like friendships and relationships, like,
I think it's mainly women. It's a very fine my husband, when I talk about like just different things I've been through when it comes to friendships and stuff, he be like, it's more like, you know, he like, niggas don't care about it. Like, what y'all talking about? You know what I'm saying?
Have an obligation to each other. Like,
put much stock into
it. Once somebody, I mean, they can literally fight that day. Like, literally, it'd be a 4-point. I literally seen him slam one of his friends because they was out of hand because they was drunk. And next thing you know, he was like, you still need a ride? Like, I mean, just get your ass. I'm like, look, yo.
We need a process. We
gotta talk through it.
No, it's like that scene on Lean On Me. When they were at the superintendent meeting, and Joe Clark and and they was like, fuck. He was like, you want something to eat? He's like,
go on. Like, they just move forward. We be so caught up in all that, and then we still talking about it.
We don't function like that.
You know, and it's
on
like,
Facebook,
right? And every post you put, because you know, true friends, right? But men just don't. They don't. They don't process, and we process through all of it.
They done had a moment, we moved on.
Right, they already moved on. Even when you argue with them, it's like,
yeah, it's true. Like, it's so true.
Yes, we still talking about it. But
that happened yesterday. Still going on it.
But it's like, I think that like when I think about even like when you're on a particular journey and how you even invite people in and being open to invite new people in, because you know sometimes that's challenging. Yeah. You know, we wouldn't have gotten to this place if we invite new people in. You know, I didn't know you all. I didn't set out to make new friends. Hey, I want a whole new group of friends. It wasn't that. Because I still have another core group of friends. I had this group of friends. So it's not that, but it's just sometimes you just gotta be open to what the journey has to offer. And sometimes that could be new relationships. And you know, and you just never know. Because I remember in the beginning, Kristen and I weren't like that close. I mean, we at work and all that, but then it was like over time that it became like we would talk more. Then it was like, it wasn't just at work. Then we like call each other, hey, what you doing? So then it became after work, and then it was like, hey, what you doing this weekend? You know, so it just kind of developed over time. Not that we did anything to push the relationship. It just kind of organically just happened. Right. And you'll see that sometimes in villages where we had talked about that before, where certain things that you connect with somebody like, hey, well, you know, we talked about this because we have a shared experience, or you know, y'all have shared experiences, and so that also you gotta allow for that. But then within the village, you can't get mad in the village when you're not a part of the shared experience. You know, and not that you always want to be a part of the shared experience, but I mean, sometimes you know, you gotta be careful. Don't do that.
I'm just saying,
you gotta be careful with that. So here's my question: how do you handle when? Because I'm positive that Beyonce has a circle, a core circle, because she seemed like she don't let a lot of people in. It's probably like Kelly and her mother, and Solange. Right. Maybe Michelle when she feel up to dealing with. I don't know. I don't know what her core group.
Yeah.
And of course, that she's a wife. Entertainer and kid, mother, and all that. So, how do you then manage that act? Because you're just in your literally early 30, and we're into our 40s, but I'm just trying to, like, how do you manage the dynamic of relationships and friendships over time? Like, at a certain age. Because, 20s is one set. When you got your set of friends at 20, that's different. It looks different. Y'all doing different things. But it evolves. Yeah. If you still with that same group of people or when you meet new people. Like, friendship, 40, y'all know, I'm in the bed. Yeah. Karima called me and was like, when she texted me, she was like, oh, girl, I said, oh, she posted some pictures. And I was like, oh, you out? She was like, yeah, girl, I told you. I was like, oh, she said, oh, you could have came down. I was like, I was in the bed at 8 o'clock. What time did this start? I'm already tucked in.
She had the early bird special.
I don't, you know what I'm saying? But I'm saying that, but that does, sometimes I would say that I miss out on things.
Yeah.
Because I'm not the person I'm not the turn up person when it's time. When I'm ready to go out.
I'm about to say, but you are.
No, when I'm there.
When you're there. When you're there.
I'm good.
That's right.
Once I took my nap, I'm already
until 11:59.
Planned. We already know the schedule. This time to go out. I got my look. I'm good.
Right.
I'm turned up when we there. But you don't call me like Nikki, my friend Nikki calls me. Hey, you want to go to New York? I'm like, when? She's like, tomorrow. No, I don't pick up and go to New York tomorrow. There's work. There's things I want to get into bed. I want to be tucked in.
What am I going to wear? My nail appointment is too much to think about.
And my nail appointment, forget about it.
Right.
But I'm just saying, I'm not that. So I'm just saying, my 40s is looking real in the bed.
That's why you got a 30-year-old friend. We're going to pull you out.
But my friends tell me all the time, girl. And Karima, again, she texted me. She was like, what you want to do this weekend? I was like,
sleep?
I said, this weekend? I said, people go out on Easter weekend? She's like, yeah. I'm thinking it's Easter.
I'm like, you don't have no small kids.
No, I don't have
no. What you mean? What you doing?
Guess what she texted me? She said, what you going to an Easter egg?
Right. I said, kitty disco? Get your ass out this house.
Yeah. I said, don't do that, friend. I'm just saying.
But it takes more work.
She's available. Come get her.
But ultimately it takes more work.
It does.
It takes more work.
It's a build up.
And
you're not
I'm talking about
either, sis. Because we will call you and you be like, boom, that's it.
This is true.
I'm going here, go ahead.
This is true. You be double and triple booked. Be double and triple booked.
To capacity.
It's because of my work schedule, though.
But again,
you got things to do. You got bills to pay.
That's right.
And I can't be drunk tonight and be to work.
That's right. Exactly. That's right. That's adulthood.
You're right.
So therefore, it takes more work to maintain friendships because most people in this age range, true adulthood.
This is real. You real grown.
You real.
Because 30, you grown. But you ain't really,
you're not in the thick of it.
Your student loans is haven't quite because you been deferred you deferred until you was 35. I'm just saying certain things haven't kicked in.
Right, haven't kicked in. Right.
But this is where you real grown.
You real grown. And so if all your friends are real grown, right. You have to either plan ahead,
right,
to spend time with them if they have children, if they have spouses, because they have weekend things to do with their kids. So I know with one of my groups of friends, we will plan things like a month out, like a brunch.
Yeah.
Because it's brunch, but we will plan it because that's the only weekend that we can all get together. Right. But we make the effort. And it's one of, the one friend will always double back and be like, okay, folks, we need to. So it takes, and I've had these conversations with some of my friends because a lot of my friends are introverts. Mm-hmm. And so that in and of itself, they're like,
that's a whole,
I'm home.
Can you imagine that group text?
No. It's quiet. It's real quiet.
I respond because you didn't respond.
And that's right.
It took 2 weeks to have one conversation.
And then even planning with over 40 people. I mean, it takes
an effort.
Yes.
No.
Yeah. You planning stuff with y'all is stressful. And then y'all get mad at me because I'm like, whatever y'all plan, I'm game. Just let me know when you confirm.
But here's the deal. This is why Nia always says.
But it depends on what.
Why do you hang out with them? She don't get it. She don't understand why she hangs out with us older folks. But
because once it's in place, it's lit.
It is.
It's just what you gotta.
You gotta get us there.
You gotta get us there.
But it's
you gotta mentally prepare. It's gonna be canceled twice. But that third plan.
Right. We here, y'all.
The turn up is real.
You know that was last week. Oh, dang.
Really?
But that's the thing. It's like even the planning when you dealing with over 40, it's like a different preparation.
It is.
Because then people have special requirements.
That's right.
They don't, it's certain things they can't do. They won't do. They ain't standing for it. I ain't 20 years old. I can't sleep with nobody.
It's always who's going, how many people.
Right, how many people. Because if it's too many people.
Who's driving,
That's
where
right.
we meeting.
If it's too many people, forget about it.
Right.
Forget about it.
Yeah.
You know, what's the vibe? Is it going to be a bunch of young people? Because I ain't
That's
doing
right.
that shit.
That's right.
If it going to be, you know, who's
Is it
That's right.
good? Is it
That's right.
What's the dress
Can I
code?
buy
That's
my
right.
car? Where can I buy my car?
How much does it cost? Because I'm on a budget, because I'm trying to
Yeah.
save
Have
for
you
the
been
thing.
there before? What's the menu?
Yeah.
Can you send it?
Yeah,
Can I look it up?
Bean soup, you
And
know,
meanwhile, I come in at
Do
the
they have
very
almond
end
milk,
and
soy
say,
milk?
Not almond milk.
Call
Stop.
me when y'all ready, because I'm game for whatever.
I mean, we can't even eat wings when we go out no more. It's like, let me see if they got bean soup. I'm like, great, okay, this looks fun.
It's a different life.
It is a different life.
It's a
The fact
different
that they
life.
even have bean soup on the menu was
Don't laugh at them,
puzzling to
Mackenzie.
me. But I'm just like that. That's where I'm at now. So it takes. So I do have to make a huge effort to plan and say, hey. But then I also have to consider planning things with my husband, because now that I'm in this phase of no worrying about kids, vacations, and all that.
Yeah.
You know, now I gotta be concerned about making sure that I'm spending time with him, and it's not every weekend I can be out with my girls. You know what I
Right.
mean? So even thinking about that and factoring all of that, and still want to sleep under my little brown cozy cover.
I know.
Like I got.
That's how I feel about dating. That's how I feel about dating.
As far as what, like just the planning of
The time. But it's like I have papers to grade.
Yeah.
You know,
The
new batch is just
Okay, just
new batch. I finished the
Spring break?
previous
Okay,
batch.
okay,
I
good.
finished the batch
That's-
before
that's-
spring.
that's-
So I've graded all day
Yeah,
Saturday.
exactly.
That's
Somebody
right.
might be outside.
It's like, man, Professor, I saw you on. I figured I'd swing by.
Make sure
Do you have my
you get my
paper? Because you said, no, I got those done
Okay.
this past weekend in preparation for the fresh batch that's
Okay.
coming this week, which I have to hurry up and get done because then we got finals.
Right. Okay. Good.
So that's what I'm saying.
But
My
you got this
time is structured
Yeah.
around
We
when I
know.
have to,
We know how your time. Everything is allotted.
because I know how long it takes to get certain things done. But if I'm dating,
Yeah.
then I have to
You gotta
allocate
take it out.
time.
Yeah.
Okay, if I want to spend time with somebody, I have to factor that in
Yeah.
to, to my time. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what you got to do.
So
Yeah, that's a new life.
So speaking
What's your
of,
new-
like,
yes,
what's
what's
our
your
new
new-
life?
right.
Since we're gonna have a whole hour and some change free on Wednesdays.
Listen, I don't
Yeah.
know.
What are we doing?
yeah.
What are
So
we doing?
What is this new life?
Happy hour. Right? That's what we're doing. We've committed to happy hour.
We have.
Okay.
Once a month.
Okay. But no, I'm saying finding the time, because I remember the last event that we planned. I was like, this was for Sunday, right? And I was like, no, it's Saturday. I'm like, no.
Right, you pushed it. You really advocated for yourself.
It's for Sunday.
Is that what you called it?
Well,
I had
I
plans.
thought that she didn't know.
I
She
didn't
didn't
know.
check the time.
well,
the line.
first she didn't know.
At first, I didn't know. I will admit.
Then once she knew,
Then
she
I was
had
like,
to advocate.
I have a date on Saturday, so it's gonna have to be on Sunday. I need y'all to get up.
So, but no, what is next? Because like we were saying, we have gone through a lot. A lot has happened in the back.
And we
A
come
lot.
out on the other side.
We've come out on the other side, which is partially why we're ending the show. So what's next?
What is
Kristen?
next? I really don't know. I know a lot more working, because I'm trying to get my business where it needs to be.
Right.
So that's a focus.
Because that's growing.
It
Hence
is.
why you're not
Yes.
often available
It is.
on weekends.
Because I'm not available this
You are
weekend
definitely
either.
booked and busy.
And I think you're minimizing the growth of that, because a few
Yeah.
years ago it was just a
Yeah.
side hustle.
Right.
You
No,
didn't
it's a
even really
business.
consider
It's
it.
a real live business. Like,
And now you like
I
She
know
charging
it's a
real life
business.
prices.
And you charging real
life
prices.
now.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
know it's a
somebody-
real life business.
policies
when I'm
and
like,
procedures.
On my birthday, I'm booked with proms all day.
Yeah, she not going out for her
I'm not
birthday.
doing anything for my birthday.
Now
This
that's
year.
See?
And y'all know how I
important
feel
her
about a
birthday is.
birthday.
We know how important her birthday is, so I'm shocked when you told me. I
Wow.
couldn't believe it.
I'm booked and
so
busy.
no Philly that weekend.
No.
Wow.
Damn it, no Philly that weekend.
Make that
You
money.
making that
I really want
Make
to
that
go.
money.
Yeah, but
Do it now, white girl. Let me tell you something.
What?
I was saying somebody
Oh.
typed the long thing.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
what's next for in terms of, well, we talked about what would be next for us, but let's talk about,
And then I have to also factor in making more time for dating. with my new life and calendar.
Yeah, so what's your?
So I have to have
what's your
my
new
fellow
life?
single
Dating.
friend.
You're single now.
Show me how to.
I've been trying to bring you over.
Listen, I'm a lot better with it now. Mm-hmm. I mean, I went through a phase where
because you weren't single when we started the show.
No, I wasn't.
Look at that, I'm saying.
I was not.
She wasn't single when
I wasn't. But yes, now it's a whole new life to get accustomed to. So that's a lot of the time is going to be filtering through that. Even just like little things that I thought wasn't that big of a deal. Dinner. How do you taking the trash out? Like you know, who's gonna cut the
I know
grass?
we introduced you to the world of Wegmans prepared meals.
Hey, Wegmans is the truth.
Listen, when you can have stuffed salmon,
like gourmet
stuffed salmon with
I'm
Brussels
telling you,
sprouts
for
on
one,
the side, and a
it's
nice
a game
glass
changer.
of white wine.
Come on,
and watch your favorite show to yourself, no interruptions. It's
welcome.
It's a vibe. It's a whole.
It is a vibe. See, now you see.
It's a vibe. It took a minute though to adjust.
It did.
Being in the house by myself, and you know, like I said, who's going to take the trash out? Like those things were.
But that was your whole.
That was like the whole
thing. Like it was everything.
No, that was contingent upon taking the trash out.
Who's going to shovel the snow?
Shovel the snow.
And who's going to take the trash?
And you did it both. You did both.
Listen,
you came through.
Look at God. Won't he do it?
He did. He showed up and showed out.
He did. So I have to get accustomed. Listen, I got to get accustomed to this new life. So I think I am. I think I'm doing good. I had a relapse of, you know, an angry moment, but then after that, I'm figuring it out.
Right. That's a major transition.
Totally.
It's a major transition.
Yes.
To be a 30-year-old single woman.
I know. To be a 30-year-old woman who was married.
A 30-year-old single businesswoman.
Oh, that kind of single.
Oh, that kind of single.
Married?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was married.
Now you was.
Yep.
Yeah, she was.
Oh, dang.
Now you know.
It's a transition.
Yeah.
Throughout my entire 20s.
Married, but it sounds transition.
Oh yeah.
It's transition.
It got real. Definitely.
Yeah.
So, I mean a lot, but that has when I look around the people in my circle, like that is, yeah, I feel like I'm the last.
Don't do that.
Your brother's about to say.
Almost. I mean,
you hanging on.
A lot of people. This has been what's been going on.
Yeah, it happens, especially when you get married young.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you grow up, and if y'all aren't able to grow up together.
I was 22 when I got married.
Were you 22?
Yeah, 21, 22.
That's super young.
Yeah.
Baby.
Literally. Still wiping the milk on.
And I was 24.
Like 1 year, 1 year.
Right.
The next day I was
1 year.
That's how you
Turn
got
up.
married.
Yeah, that's a major transition. Major
Oh, yeah.
transition.
Yeah.
But so between that and
You would do it
music.
again?
Oh no, I'm never doing it again. Testing. Hello.
That's what they all
Hello?
say
Testing.
within the first
Never doing that
few
again.
months.
No.
But the reality is, we a lot of us say that, and then it takes a period of time. Because I said it.
Would you get married again?
I would.
See?
But it's been
Bless you.
yeah, but it's been 8 years, and I'm just yeah, I'm just
because it's right when you came to the school. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, 7, 8 years. I'm just now at the point where I'm like, I could do this again.
Wow.
But it took me a long time.
Yeah.
It took me a long time.
In ultra, like to today,
You don't want to.
never.
Right.
Like,
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's typical.
I would
That's
never
typical.
ever like that.
But that's how it is, though.
I don't know if I would change my name.
You
I don't
did?
know. I don't know if I would change my name again though.
Oh, I'm not changing mine.
That's a pain in the ass.
Oh, no. I
That's
paid
what
for this. I'm not getting a new
What,
social
you Tina
security.
Turner?
Yes, the name.
That's right. The name
stays
stays.
The name stays home. Listen, because I can use passport. I had just renewed my passport and everything. Like, I got things to do. I got trips. I'm trying to be flued out. Like, I ain't got time to do all that. No.
It's a lot. It's
is
a
lot.
lot.
That's what I say.
You don't have to go through it.
I know.
What? Yes,
When
I
this-
just
when this
got
journey
my
happen,
passport.
I'll go with you to go get it. I'll sit there with you while you gotta get it.
No, what, the change?
Yeah, that's what it's all about. What I'm gonna do while I'm waiting.
No, look, let me say something.
We need to
I
have
know.
the same name. Right? This is not.
Oh, well, you talking about if you're remarrying.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not doing that, so
That's what I'm saying. That's
the name stays home.
You're not married.
I'm not
Unless you
remarrying.
marry somebody with your name.
Yeah.
How did that?
That happens.
I doubt it. My
I
last
doubt
name is
My last
Hood.
name.
Like,
so I can find another Williams and then she can just.
Your last name Williams?
Yeah.
No, that's my last name.
See, that's it.
Right.
I'm not finding another hood.
But that's
And if
my
I
married
do,
name.
I'm gonna be
That's
like,
true. And if you find another,
Right.
You definitely ain't gonna.
hell no.
We related.
Nah, I'm good.
Nah, I even through your this transition for you, I gotta say, Kristen, like the amount of, I mean, because again, between the passing of your father, this like it's just
That's major
been
life.
major things.
Oh,
and
all
I
this
mean,
was in
So, yeah,
the
was
separation was the
hardest
same
part
year.
of the all. Like I literally
Absolutely.
lost my father first, and then the marriage ended, and it was like I literally like lost the two most important men of my life at that point. Like I knew nothing about them. I was with my husband since I was 13 years old, so it was a complete culture shock. Like how do I function without?
Yeah.
What does that look like? What does this mean? Like how am I supposed to? So navigating through that has been, and even still, some days I'll wake up and it's like nothing constantly but my father on my mind. Or there's plenty of times where I'll wake up and it's like, oh well, my husband and I will be doing this, or this will be what our day kind of looks like. So I mean, there's still a lot of emotion with that, but you know, everything happens for a reason, and there's a blessing in everything. Like I've learned so much from my father. Like there's so many life lessons and things that he has taught me that I know I'm just so grateful. And especially when I have so many friends who didn't have their fathers growing up and don't have those relationships, like I can look back on those moments, even when they weren't great moments, and be like, I appreciate them more. And even that with my marriage, there's so much that I learned, especially from being so young and growing with another person. Like I learned so much about me, and separating and not having those two people in my life forced me to grow up in a different kind of way. So it has definitely changed me into a better person. Like I don't regret any of it. I mean, it's not anything I wouldn't do over again. I definitely would. So, but yeah, this past year has been definitely life changing.
Definitely, and we were here to witness it.
Yeah.
And I think that
And thank God for that.
see, well, I mean, and it's like, I mean, because you're like a little sister, so it's like when you see somebody going through, and even when they're not really ready to actually deal with it, because that's another thing, you can be in a village, and even though you're saying, I see this, but that person is not ready to confront and deal with that, you gotta allow space for that. You know what I mean? Because that was part of
her journey.
the back and forth. Like, not just the back and forth, but just like some of the discussion was like, okay, this is what we see, so what do you think? And she was like, no, I'm not ready yet. Okay, fine. So when, you know, but when something resurfaces and we back here again, so, you know, no, I'm not ready yet. But then it was times when she just, whatever that time or whatever that was, it came about, and it was like, you know what, I'm ready. And you see her taking strides without anybody saying anything or doing anything, just moving quietly and growing. To me, that's beautiful. When you see somebody, it's like when you're a kid. Not that you young enough to, I'm old enough to be your mother, but like when you see your kid progress and move and make moves without you noticing, but show up and be like, hey, I just got something. You like, it's a beautiful thing. Because you navigating through your kid's life for them makes no sense. And so same thing for your friends. You can't take each step for them. Don't forget, don't call, no, because it's not your journey. It's theirs. But you're here to witness and support. But that's it. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that, and the type of person you are, you know, you're not really an emotional person. So even us trying to be there and support you, even when you're not showing like, oh, well, she's not sitting here crying, so maybe she's okay, or she's not there. We knew, you know what I mean? But some people are like that, where everything is every day is a thing, and so it's like you gotta be able to to balance that. And so how do you support even when it's, you know, you don't see or you don't always know it's not right out front. So I congratulate you, and I'm so proud of you.
Thank
you.
you.
Just to see the growth in you. So but yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I think that's why I felt like it was kind of bittersweet, because it's like some of this kind of came about because of this, the closeness, the friendship. You know.
But again, that speaks to how do you maintain friendships, and
everybody just start a podcast.
Well, everybody start a podcast. But no, but you make a commitment.
That's the only way you can get together.
But you have to make a commitment.
You do have to schedule it.
You have to make a commitment that if this relationship, I think that's what your friend was commenting on, is that you have to make a commitment to it.
Alien.
Right? Like if it's important to you, you make a commitment.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And and that may mean that sometimes time will pass and maybe a few weeks go by or a month or two, but you double back and you say, hey, Let's catch up. Let's get together. Because even now, like with my schedule change, and it's going to change even more in the next academic year, I'm not even on campus as much.
Right.
So we don't even have the same.
Right.
But I will send a life update.
Right.
Here's what's going on with me, because I still want y'all to know what's going on with me, right? And so you just make the commitment.
And I also think that you have to allow for, even within the commitment, being okay with how somebody is showing up. As long as it's not hurtful or harming you in any way, sometimes that's all they have.
Yeah.
And so I think sometimes we get so caught up in, I wanted to look this way. And so even if I am sending you a text, maybe that's all I can do at that moment, but I just want to let you know I was thinking of you.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can't downplay that and say, well, why you couldn't do this?
Yeah.
Or I called you, da-da-da. I was like, I get
Yeah.
it, but I'm saying I was doing this, that. I'm sorry, and I don't want to run down my list because I know you dealing with stuff. But I mean, sometimes we don't allow even for that. Like we're
Right.
so. To me, we're just so hard on each other, especially women when it comes to friendships. It's like if you don't show up for somebody in a certain way,
Yeah.
and sometimes it may not been meant for me to.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
you hell bent on me showing up.
Yeah. It's the expectations.
Yeah,
You
so
just got to
it's
be
kinda
clear.
like, yeah, you know.
You got to be
so.
clear. You got to be an adult.
Yeah, and you gotta be okay with everybody grown here. I had to go to work. I was asleep in my bed under my brown little cover, comfy cover. So I answered
Yeah.
the phone. Sorry.
So what's next for you?
One, I'll be finishing school in December of this year. Where's my no clap? The track. That's the track.
I
Man.
need that.
Thanks. You want on? You want on? You want on?
Oh, this one had a warm.
Yeah. Oh, you fatty. So I'll be finishing that. That's been long overdue. And then I'll be moving into my acting career and writing. And so I'm going to, I have like 2 plays and possibly a screenplay. So yes, we will, because I'll need you to work with me on that. So that's really what I'm moving. And I think that I think we kind of mentioned a couple weeks back when we had first announced the show stopping, that, you know, trying to find that sometimes your transition, you may have to be pushed into your transition because you holding on for dear life because it feels good in this place. And so sometimes that push is needed so you can really recognize and fulfill your dream. And I was listening to what Beyonce was saying. It was true. I feel like anything that God has given you, if it's a dream, if it's a vision, whatever, it's no doubt that you're not supposed to carry it out. Or even if it is not for you, it could be for somebody else, but you're supposed to be a part of it. And you may not know until it's all revealed. But it's no way he gives you a vision and it's just like for nothing.
Yeah.
Now, my dream about Drake, I don't know what that had to do with anything, but like that's separate. That ain't got nothing to do with Lord.
A vision or a talent.
Right.
Yeah. It has nothing to do with this.
Because that person,
No.
That was just saying, hey Drake.
No.
Yeah.
Nah. But no, I'm just saying, like, that's really, like, when you get, and I'm not talking about almost, I mean, I don't know, sometimes those things mean something when you it's about to fall off the edge. And you wake up.
We're not entertaining.
No. What, when you about to fall off the edge of a cliff?
In a dream.
You're talking about within another journey.
Oh, no.
No. I'm talking about when you fall, about to fall off and you wake up. Those things mean
Yes,
something.
absolutely.
So yeah, so that's what I'll be working on, and I'm looking forward to, you know, my circle, my villages, multiple villages, to hold me accountable, because that's the thing. I have to push myself, because this is going to be unfamiliar. This is not like something that I'm accustomed like this, but it's in me to do. So I know it's there, but I'm gonna need people to be like, get this done. So
absolutely.
What about you?
Well, I'm going to be focusing on my business. And I was thinking about this earlier today, that I finally feel like in the past few months that like I'm like a legitimate business person. Because just like with Kristen, like when I started my practice, I didn't think of it as like having a business. It was something I was doing. But I legit feel like this is my business. And there's some things that I haven't really done to fully market. Like I don't have a website. You know what I mean? Something as simple as that. So like I've been really thinking about like I need a website. Like, and I'm an author. Like my book should be on my website. Like those are things that I haven't taken the time to do. That I really like. That's been on the forefront of my thinking. Is that like I really need to just sit down and do this. I know that's what I'm saying. I haven't taken the time to do it.
You're a manager.
And I've added, I'm taking on more clients. So it's really going to be about that and my, financial freedom movement that I've been on for the past year and some change, which is helping to support that.
Right.
So that's really going to be my focus is really developing that. And I'm not sure fully what direction it's going in, but as far as I still have technically there's sort of 2 full-time jobs with the amount of clients that I'm seeing. It's technically 2 full-time jobs, which I've been able to, and that was part of the thing. I wasn't doing it initially because I didn't think I had the time.
Right.
I didn't know how I could manage it, but it's actually rather simple.
Right.
So it's really just going to be, keeping that going, massaging that, and sort of getting it to where it needs to be as far as my marketing and things like that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And we also and finally we talked about maybe some other things we might do together. And so we just want to make sure that if you are, any viewers or, our listeners, to stay, we'll keep the page up, the Side of Shade page.
Yeah, so we may do some events.
We might do some events, and so just stay tuned for that, and we hope to see people
out in the DMV.
Yeah, definitely. Well, yes, the DMV, and then also
in Baltimore.
we gotta make that clear. So,
and we will still have T-shirts available.
Yeah, we still have T-shirts available. So please support our T-shirt, our Shady Tees.
Yeah, thank you so much for watching, for support,
we are shady,
for
very
your fandom.
Yes, it's been great. I was really surprised that we can, not just that we can pull it off, but just that we just kind of fell into it and just kind of
and had the viewership and everything.
Yeah, so
it's been pretty awesome.
We appreciate you, Diamond, for
Yay,
being a great producer.
And adding your 2 cents.
Yes.
See,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. On the last show, you just
dropping the ball.
You like the man with the needle, just
dropping the ball.
Get him out of here.
Yeah.
But also, Diamond, if you ever have a need for a hostess, just keep me in mind.
Hostess with the most.
Yes, just keep me in mind.
Or anybody else out there looking for a host.
As long as you're playing Drake, she'll keep the party going.
That's it.
Yeah.
Somebody, because I do think we should do a Drake karaoke, but that shit, we can talk about that later.
Okay.
Oh, that's not.
Diamond said, okay.
They do it in Philly? Okay.
They do?
Yes, they have all Drake. And it's packed to capacity.
Yeah, just karaoke.
It's karaoke. But
It's karaoke.
Drake. But it's
No focus.
Thank you.
But I'm saying
Because karaoke and karaoke, unless
All right, so are we
Whitney Houston playing.
So,
So,
oh Lord.
yes.
Oh, wait.
But anyway, no, seriously. So anyway, you all, toast to you all for joining us for our final show. It's been a blast. We've had a great time.
Great time.
And make sure you stay tuned for anything that we have.
Yeah, keep an eye out. We'll be around.
So thank you. Cheers.
Yay. Yay.
To friendship in the village.
To a Side of Shade.
Yes.
All right. And we're
Yay.
signing out. Thanks, Diamond. Thanks, Nikki. I know you're not here tonight.
Thank you, Nikki.
Yes.
I know she said she watching.
Yeah, she was.
Oh.
Hey, Nikki.
She's in a bar watching.
Is she?
Oh, I left the book for you, Nikki.